What is APTOS? What really happened to its airdrop? Why has it been so heavily criticized? Is it really trustworthy? Stay until the end and we'll tell you all about it. This is our Crypto of the Week, chosen by our private Discord community. Link to this in the description box. APTOS is a Layer 1 blockchain with a focus on scalability, security, reliability, and improvement. Their team is made up of over 350 developers, engineers, researchers, strategists, builders, and designers, all committed to providing universal and equitable access to decentralization, scalable to billions of people. A chain built over the last 3 years with the aim of reinvigorating Layer 1 with new ideas surrounding consensus mechanisms, smart contracts, security systems, and decentralization. The blockchain's vision consists of bringing mainstream adoption to Web3 and empowering a dApp system to solve problems for real-world users. It was founded by Mo, Sheikh, and Avery Ching, former Meta employees with several years of blockchain experience. Much of the APTOS team is credited with developing innovations such as the Move language, Move Prover, the Block SDM parallel execution engine, and Narwhal consensus mechanisms, a DAG-based mempool, and efficient BFT consensus and Bullshark. APTOS will be integrated into BlockTo, a software wallet that collaborates with other important blockchains such as Ethereum, Solana, Flow, or Tron. In addition, it has its own wallet in tests, Petra wallets, and other external ones such as Pontem, Martian, or Wefcha. What is APT? It is the network's token. The blockchain's funding added up to over $400 million with investors such as FTX, Ventures, A16Z, Multicoin Capital, and Binance, amongst others. According to Bloomberg, the funding round has more than doubled the valuation of the company, which was over $1 billion in March. Throughout the various funding rounds that it has had, many renowned investors have joined in, which has aroused great interest across the community. Its launch, although with some errors, has been a financial success. It's been almost a week and the price is at the same level with even new ATHs. The total supply of APT is 1 billion tokens, distributed as follows: 51.02% towards the community, 19% towards the main collaborators, 16.5% towards the foundation, and 13.48% towards the investors. The percentage of investors and core will be unlocked over the next 4 years from the launch of the main network, and more than 82% of the circulating supply is being staked. But what is APTOS really used for? Based on its white papers, here's 5 points to answer this question. First and foremost, the APTOS blockchain is natively integrated and uses the Move language for fast and secure transaction execution. This focus on security allows developers to better protect their software from malicious entities. The APTOS data model also enables the flexible key management and hybrid custody options. This, along with the transparency of transactions prior to signing and convenience, provides a more secure and reliable user experience. Third, to achieve high throughput and low latency, the APTOS blockchain leverages a pipelined, modular approach to key stages of transaction processing: transaction broadcasting, block metadata ordering, parallel transaction execution, batch storage, ledger attestation, all work simultaneously. This approach takes full advantage of all available physical resources, improves hardware efficiency, and enables highly parallel execution. Unlike other parallel execution engines that break transaction automaticity by requiring initial knowledge of the data to be read and written, the APTOS blockchain does not impose such limitations on its developers. It can efficiently support automaticity with arbitrary, complex transactions, enabling higher throughput and lower latency for real-world applications. Plus, it simplifies development. And last but not least, APTOS modular architecture design supports client flexibility and is optimized for frequent and instant updates. Additionally, to rapidly implement new technology innovations and support new Web3 use cases, the APTOS blockchain provides on-chain change management protocols. Now that we've got the background knowledge covered, what really happened with the APTOS airdrop? What happened to TPS following the launch? Does it already have its first project? Let's jump into the fundamental analysis. The airdrop claim was made on its website. The foundation announced that it had allocated approximately 20 million APT tokens, 2% of its total initial supply, to just over 110 eligible participants. The tokens released in the airdrop were said to be worth between $200 and $260, depending on the market price of the token at the time the launch occurred. The choice of participants was based on two categories according to the blockchain company: users who completed an application for an APTOS incentivized testnet, and users who coined an APTOS 0 NFT testnet. Only the original minters of these NFTs were eligible. While all of this was going down, the project was receiving backlash, the harshest coming from Solana developer Paul Fedika, who said the project had doji tokenomics and fake POS, and accused them of centralization among validator nodes, amongst other things. In addition, the developer emphasized that he had built shared stake pools for decentralization, as seen on GitHub. Since the launch of its mainnet, APTOS may have struggled to meet investor expectations, especially those who consider the project overblown. This is where transactions per second come into play. Is the blockchain as fast and efficient as the APTOS team makes it out to be? On Twitter, criticism has rained down on technical aspects that, according to users, have not lived up to promises made. One of the points brought up is that APTOS could process up to 130,000 transactions per second pre-launch, fully overtaking Solana. But at the time of launch, a speed of 4 TPS was reported. The difference is abysmal. Keep in mind that the amount of TPS does not reflect the number of real transactions that a chain can carry out. In fact, later, Josh Lind, one of the APTOS engineers, posted a Twitter thread revealing the following data. In the last 24 hours, blockchain executed over 2.5 million transactions with an average TPS of 27 and sustained spikes of more than 70. The blockchain runs smoothly, the system is not breaking a sweat. Another point of concern was that stakers were receiving rewards before being listed on the various exchanges. The network was launched on October 12th, but it was only officially launched on the 17th, and users criticized that in those 5 days, the first nodes were the only ones that were able to obtain benefits, while the rest were unable to do so. As seen in the Coin98 images and those of Kairos Insights, there are many projects waiting to be launched in the APTOS ecosystem. Here are some examples. DEX projects such as Pontem, a project with investors like Delphi, Alameda Mechanism, Animoca Brands, APTOS Labs, and many others, with a round of $4.5 million. A project that is in its testnet stage. Lending and borrowing projects include Vial, Endured Finance, a project supported by APTOS Labs on Twitter, and Ultima, a lending project that won the third prize APTOS Hackathon in 2022. Currently in development. In terms of projects in the NFT marketplace in the APTOS ecosystem, those include Curiosity and Topaz, projects under development. That said, now let's move on to the technical analysis. In the daily timeframe, while it isn't data heavy, we can take a look at what has happened since the launch of this token. On October 19th, a bullish movement of over 300% took place. After touching the $12.5 area, we saw a decline of over 50%, which left its price in the area of $7.33 at the close of its launch, with an increase of 97% over its base price. The following couple of days, APTOS managed to mark its first relevance zone between $7.34 and $7.50. This chart displays the reason behind this relevance. A very important buy-sell area formed with increased action and interest. In other words, VPOC, or volume point of control, which is the level of highest volume concentration. On October 22nd and 23rd, we continued seeing green candlesticks, leading its price to the upside. The next day, we saw a moment of indecision, marking its first red candlestick, with a continuation on October 25th in the APT token. That day, it closed in the $8.77 area. Today, the opening candlestick headed towards the upside, but has not yet been finalized as it hasn't closed yet. What we can clearly see is a significant support zone that forms on the volume profile. In addition, in the area of $9.76, the relevance is evident due to the buying and selling interest. In this 4-hour time frame, we can get a better view of the movements carried out by the APTOS token. Initially, we can see how it reached $12.5 and was accompanied by volatility. From then on, we can see how a period of accumulation began where the price remained above the support located between $6.87 and $7.03. A clear price compression structure formed. Looking at the visible range, we can see the area we were talking about, with significant buying and selling interest in the area of approximately $7.5. It found itself in the middle of the price lateralization up until October 22nd, as a candlestick broke the resistance located between $8.53 and $8.75 with volume input. That same day, the following candlesticks carried out a continuation of the movement, with harmony between effort and result, after which it went on to test the new resistance located between $9.98 and $10.3. If we take a look at the volume profile a couple of days later, we can see how the main buying and selling interest zone becomes approximately $9.8. We can also see how the clusters delimit the areas of buying and selling interest, and as the prices rose, the area of greatest relevance moved close to the resistance. After hitting resistance and liquidating all existing short positions, the price moved into a correction phase. A continuation move developed a kind of parallel channel, a small corrective trend structure. Yesterday, we can see an attempt to break out of this intermediate support zone between $8.5 and $8.75, creating a few spiked candlesticks at the bottom, a few doji candlesticks. At the moment, it is failing to break out. We can, however, see a type of descending wedge that, after having suffered a break in its low zone, is attempting to recover that structure and test the upper part once again, as it could have been a fake out and maybe a different pattern to the one seen initially. If a bearish movement were to take place and unable to recover that structure, we would see a pullback that would go on to test the minor support zone, losing the intermediate zone and dropping to the zone between $7.96 and $8.4. If it were to lose further strength, it would head towards the first accumulation zone seen initially at $7.5. On the contrary, if we see a re-entry into that range, one that consolidates this area, it could push the price to the upside towards the $9.5 area, a very important buying and selling interest zone since the very beginning. If the double bottom or a similar move is consolidated, it would head towards that zone and try to break through it to seek the top of the range. Perhaps a different chart pattern would be seen, a descending parallel channel, and the rebound would test the top part of the pattern at approximately $9.34, a throwback looking for a consolidation of the support, or directly breaking the $9.34 and heading towards the $10 mark approximately. The best way to verify everything we've just discussed is to take a look at certain on-chain metrics. Let's start with the APTOS Block Explorer. Here we can see that they're at about 13 TPS, but as mentioned previously, this does not represent the capacity of the network. This can be verified once it deploys its entire ecosystem. The number of daily transactions as of October 25th is at around 1.3 million. APTOS is taking 82%. Total transactions add up to over 13.2 million with 102 active validators. As we can see here, the buy-side volume has decreased overall. As of October 20th, it went down to about 1.91 million, and on October 23rd, while marking its next highest point following the launch of the exchange, dropped to 1.78 billion. As of today, it sits at about 750 million. Following the launch of the huge APT airdrop, many market players opened short hedging positions in perpetual futures, taking into account possible price corrections from airdrop sales. Some did also try to capitalize on the possible bearish movement. On October 19th, we can see how that average financing rate stood at negative 0.445%, and we saw it once again on October 23rd as it reached an average of 0.749%. This can be verified in the APT funding rates history, which displays the funding rate on chain exchanges as of October 19th and October 23rd. So what about this? To begin with, understand that more often than not, when funding rates go overtly negative, short liquidations tend to occur, resulting in a short squeeze. Looking at the history of funding rate and keeping track of those total liquidations, we can see that since October 19th, short liquidations are being carried out on top of long liquidations, albeit irrelevant until October 23rd, where we can see a cascade of liquidations of short positions reaching $4.02 million. Now that you know all about APTOS, do you think it's trustworthy, or will we have to wait and see how its ecosystem develops? Is there a risk of cyber attack? Are you concerned that institutional investors would exert selling pressure? Let us know in the comment section below.